pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 262, Insights. Let me perceive no differences today. Today's lesson is the practice of looking beyond the body to our oneness in God, which is always there. Today's lesson is the practice of seeing what is always the same and what is eternally true. Today's lesson is the practice of seeing past the ego. Today's lesson is about accepting the peace that comes with remembering unity. Today's lesson is about focusing on only what is true. Differences are always of the ego. Different bodies with separate minds is not what is true. Let me perceive no differences today. In this way, I accept the peace of God. Differences are the basis for all conflict. There can be no conflict between what is the same. We are told that the Holy Spirit sees the world we see, but does not believe it. He knows it is unreal, and He is in our minds to teach us to recognize the unreality of the world we think is so real. As we learn to accept His vision, we will still see the forms of the world, but learn to disregard them as meaningless. Thus, we will look past the forms to see the love that is the same in all things everywhere. With the recognition of love comes peace. For peace is an attribute of love. As we learn to recognize the unreality of form, conflict disappears. We are able to see beyond the form, and if the form appears to be acting out lack of love, we can recognize it as a call for love. We will naturally respond to this call with love. Now we become God's ministers, bringing His healing light to our brothers. We do not need to preach to him or correct him or try to make him change at all, for these would be attempts at changing the effect of error instead of changing the cause. We simply answer the call for love with love. The error is believing there is lack of love. Love is always the answer. In this world of apparent differences, the means of extending love, the form it takes, will vary according to what is most helpful. Of ourselves, we cannot know the form, for of ourselves alone we cannot love. Love is the recognition that we are not alone. By joining with Holy Spirit and letting Him guide us in the way in which to offer love in this world, we join with the love in our brothers. Thus, we can be truly helpful. It is what is the same in all of us that joins us together. What is the same is love and nothing else. Holy Spirit, help me to see what is the same in everyone and everything today. This is a perfect lesson for me today. I have been struggling with feelings directed toward an individual. It always seems harder for me to release anger and resentment when it is the other person's fault. I have tried turning it over to Holy Spirit and just keep taking it back. It was very helpful for me to read the above comments today. I was not thinking of her actions as a call for love, and was not thinking that I needed to respond with love. Just as I was wondering how I was supposed to do that, I read the above paragraph reminding me that it is not my job to know the form love needs to take in this instant. That made me feel relieved. I also needed to be reminded not to preach or correct or try to change her at all. I am certain that is why I was having so much trouble releasing this. On top of everything else, I was feeling resentful because I needed to fix this and didn't know how. Again, knowing that this is not my job, I feel relieved. Now I feel like I can easily respond to her need for love with love and trust the Holy Spirit to guide me in the form in which it is most needed. Now that I think of it this way, I cannot imagine responding to her need for love with anything but love. Thanks so much for the timely reminder. pathwaysoflight.org